Pepsi Center, Denver, Colorado. The first of three between the Canucks and the Avalanche. They split their three last season down the middle. Vancouver went 1-1-1 against the Avs. Starting goalies for this one brought to you by Tim Hortons, official coffee of the NHL. The second of 12 back-to-backs for the Canucks after watching Ryan Miller stop 31 in St. Louis last night. Eddie Lack is back in his second start of the season. And for the Avalanche, first game back for Semyon Varlamov. Last year's runner-up for the Vezina Trophy missed 3 games with a groin injury. Matt Duchene coming off a 70-point season, a career high for him. He's got 4 points in his first 7 games to start this year. His speed and that of some of the other Colorado forwards likely to be a challenge for Chris Tanev and the rest of the Vancouver defense corps. Tanev starts out there with Alex Edler to begin this game. Sedins and Radim Vrbata up front. Duchene between Tanguay and Jerome McGinley for Colorado, and the puck off the opening draw all the way back behind the Colorado net for an early touch for Varlamov. Daniel Sedin holds the puck in, centers to Henrik, he scores! 10 seconds into the game, Henrik Sedin makes it 1-0.
Well, Varlamov, just back from injury, mishandles the puck behind the net. And that's the thing, when you're out a while, you get out of sync with your defense. And Varlamov goes out to stop it, but he doesn't make a play and doesn't get out of the way. Stops it, leaves it for the defenseman who's confused, and then it's a bang-bang play. Henrik Sedin, Vrbata goes, forces the turnover. Daniel to Henrik, off the skate. Look at how smoothly Henrik takes it, skate, stick, and in. And Varlamov, after giving the puck away behind the net, is victimized.
Here's a chance for the Avalanche, and a stop by Eddie Lack off Jerome McGinley. And another shot from the point, blocked. Not a club record. That belongs to the guy with the puck, Alex Burrows, who scored a goal 6 seconds into a game against the Detroit Red Wings a couple of Marches ago. Henrik gets his 10 seconds into this one. Here's Duchene in. Backhander wide of the goal. And the puck comes free to Kevin Bieksa, who sidesteps a check. Nick Bonino trying to move the puck out. Can't do it. Gabe Landeskog has it. Now Ryan O'Reilly cutting in front. Dishes off. Tyson Barrie with a shot stopped by Lack. And the chances are coming fast and furious early in this one.
Well, shift after a goal. And you know the Avalanche don't like to start, obviously, 10 seconds in. So they're forcing the issue. Defensemen pinch in. And Eddie Lack, you have to withstand. In the last game Eddie started, 2 of the first 3 shots went in, and he's made a few already as the Avalanche are pressing.
Sedin line right back out for the defensive zone draw. But it's the Avs controlling. Nathan McKinnon behind the goal, tries to center for Landeskog, gets the puck back. Bieksa pokes it away. Ryan O'Reilly to the blue line. Eric Johnson dumps the puck in for McKinnon. And he's trying to stay with him. Henrik Sedin comes back, had the puck momentarily, but now the Avs get it back. Shot by Landeskog, and that was blocked by Daniel Sedin. I think he broke his stick on that one. Heads to the bench and hands it to the trainer as his brother Henrik moves in on the right side. Henrik Sedin across. Lucas Sbisa round behind the goal. Sbisa still with the puck. Here's a shot by Weber, and that was blocked. Tyson Barrie brings the puck forward for the Avalanche. And they had too many men on the ice. They're going to get called there. John Mitchell jumped on, touched the puck, and the Canucks are going to get a power play.
Colorado bench minor, too many men on the ice.
Canucks were victimized twice last night with too many men on the ice, and the Avalanche circle around. Too many guys jump over the boards. Patrick Roy doesn't like it, naturally.
His team just 1 win so far, 1-4-2. And off to a nightmare start in this one, although the Avs did come back to produce a flurry of chances at the Vancouver end of the ice. Canuck power play connected last night, 1 for 2. Lyndon Bay with the goal in the St. Louis game. But it's the second unit that begins this man advantage. And will start from its own zone with Dan Handhus beginning from behind the net. Handhus waits before shooting the puck in. Nick Holden tried to reverse. Canucks intercept, and here's Bieksa at the right point. Cross to Handhus. Down for Chris Higgins. Canucks spreading it out. Higgins with a wrist shot. Blocker save Varlamov. Bonino hit it with a high stick. And they blow it down as the net's been dislodged, although the referee says he's blowing it down because the puck was indeed hit with that high stick. Canucks on the power play, still a minute 27 left in it. And the power play brought to you by Subway. Try the new Canadian beef prime rib melt at Subway restaurants. Subway, eat fresh.
Well, a shot by Chris Higgins, and Nick Bonino hits it down with a high stick. He and Alex Burrows take a swing at it. And then Bonino touches it, and the referee decided that Bonino was the first one to touch it, so the faceoff comes all the way back down.
First unit power play out. Sedins, Vrbata, Vey, and Alex Edler. Radim Vrbata drops for Vey. He rings one around into the Colorado zone. Johnson lost the puck. Now it's loose at the side of the goal, and Varlamov maybe got a quick whistle, but he'll take it. There'll be a face-off in the Colorado zone. Daniel Sedin not going to engage with Cody McLeod. Little smirk on his face. It was his brother Henrik who opened the scoring 10 seconds into this hockey game, and a winner on score and win for Safeway and Old Dutch Ariba or Restaurante tortilla chips. Gurdeep Mann of Richmond, you've won a Krups Espressoria automatic espresso machine.
Cody McLeod is skating to the bench, but here's the start of the game. Radim Vrbata forces the issue. Tyson Barrie just throws it around after the mishandle by Varlamov, and what great talent by Henrik Sedin. Skate, stick, and in.
Avs win the defensive zone draw, and the puck is played past Vey by Landeskog. Edler goes back to collect. There's an errant pass, and the Avs able to break it up at center. Holden takes his time before driving the puck down into the Vancouver zone. Here's Max Talbot taken out of the play by Edler, and Henrik Sedin skates to center with the puck. Dishes left side to Daniel. Down for Henrik in the corner. Back up for Daniel. Pass out of his reach, and the puck rolls to center. Just over 20 seconds to go in the power play. Sedin's tried to play give and go. That didn't work, but the Avalanche hand the puck right back to Vrbata. In on the right side. Pass to Daniel Sedin. Now Henrik. Daniel to Edler. Daniel Sedin once more. Henrik looking across. No lane to pass to Vrbata, but he's inching closer to the goal. Henrik still with the puck. Penalty's over. Avs back to full strength. Here's Daniel Sedin. Daniel with a wrist shot. That hit a body in front and went wide. Daniel gets the puck again. Gets it back to Alex Edler. Henrik missed that pass. Johnson pokes the puck around. Jamie McGinn pressured by Yannick Weber. And Johnson takes control for Colorado. Talbot risks the puck in from center. He heads to the bench on a change. Here's John Mitchell. Behind the net for McGinn. Spiza was on him. Pass comes to Mitchell. Skates all the way back to the blue line. Now dumps the puck in around for McGinn. Danny Briere. Brad Stewart to Tyson Barrie. Pass from Mitchell. And he's pressured, and the puck is poked out to center. Avs will bring it right back in. Mitchell down the left side. John Mitchell turns. Drops to Barrie. Long slap shot. And that was partially blocked. Picked up by Spiza, who gets the puck ahead. Passing, able to get it out to Brad Richardson. Crisscrossing with Sean Matthias. Richardson in on the backhand. Barrie intercepts behind the net. And the Avs have numbers, all 5 of them on this rush. Although one guy's going to change. Here's Tanguay in. Centers the puck, and Barrie couldn't take the pass. Edler sweeps the puck around. Held in by Ginla, long shot, right pad save. Now Tanguay, rather than shoot, tried to find Duchesne, who wasn't expecting the pass. Matt Duchesne turning with the puck, looking across. That's off the Canuck Matthias, and brought forward by Chris Tanev. Tanev at the end of a shift, gains center and backhands the puck in. 5.5 into the first period, 1-0 Vancouver on the early goal from Henrik Sedin. Second game in a row the Canucks have struck in the opening minute. Here's a chance for O'Reilly, wrist shot, and a blocker saved by Lack. Fans behind the net thought it was in. I don't know if the knob of the stick rippled the mesh, but the puck stayed out. Intercepting his Hamhuis, but Jan Hejda picks off his clearing attempt. Pass back, comes outside the line, and the Avs regroup at center. Good pace to this game, and here comes Erik Johnson in. Johnson centers the puck, Hamhuis picks it off. And Dan Hamhuis trying to get out from behind the goal. Bonino comes to help him, but he too is checked. Puck cleared to the line, Johnson holds it in. O'Reilly to McKinnon. And Lack stops his sharp angle bid and hangs on. Good start for the Canucks. Good pace to the game here from the Pepsi Center.
Canucks hockey. Brought to you by Subway. Try the savory new prime rib melt. Thick cuts of juicy Canadian beef for a limited time only at participating restaurants. Subway. Eat fresh.
Colorado got called for too many men on the ice already. Now watch this change. Now look at how early the guys are off the bench and how slowly the guys are coming to the bench. They were in danger of having another one 5 minutes apart.
Canucks working to get the puck out. Long shot from the line, stopped by Lack. And Tanev has possession of the puck. Canucks break out. Burrows takes a pass on the right wing. Moving on Stewart. Long wrist shot. Gloved by Varlamov, who drops the puck to Tyson Barrie. Edler holds the puck into the line. John Mitchell able to tip it forward. Mentioned the Henrik Sedin's goal. Not the fastest in club history, nor is it the quickest one the Avs have given up to start a game. Here's a chance for Colorado, and Lack makes a save on the shot by McGinn, who's got the puck again, centering. It's in the crease, and Lack, I think, able to reach out and grab the puck. Close call around the Vancouver goal mouth.
Boy, that was a giveaway. Alex Edler has it and just throws it instead of using the boards. Throws it right up. Eddie Lack with a good save, but can't corral it. Chris Canev's down. And Eddie Lack is able to grab it. Canev gets a piece of it. That's off his leg. Unfortunately for the Canucks, it slides right into Eddie Lack.
To finish my thought, twice the Avs have given up a goal 8 seconds into a hockey game. Henrik's coming at the 10-second mark of this one.
And as your goalie, you sit back and say, okay, if I let in one every 10 seconds.
There's a long shot by Verbata, sails wide of the goal. Weber trying to hold the puck into the right point, and in concert with Henrik Sedin, he was able to, but now the Avs have it. And Tanguay's in on the left wing. Drops for Iginla. Jerome Iginla trying to pass back. Henrik Sedin attempting to move the puck out, and is able to force it out to center ice. 8 minutes into the first, 1-0 Vancouver. And Verbata, with his line mates changing, will do the same after tipping the puck into Colorado territory. It's the third time in the last 4 games the Canucks have been involved in it. The game's first shot has been a goal. Tampa. Steven Stamkos, then the game in Dallas. And this one here tonight. Kassian clears the zone. Mathias giving chase, couldn't catch up with the puck. Landeskog to Holden. 2 Canucks hit him as he plays the puck in on the left side. Hamhuis gives it away in the corner. Ryan O'Reilly trying to make some moves. Puck knocked away from him. Bieksa has it, and he just lifts it out. Colorado won in regulation the last meeting last season between these two as Landeskog moves in with a rising wrister, gloved by Eddie Lack, and he'll take the whistle.
The guys already won too many men penalty tonight. Last night the Canucks had 2 and could have had 3 if not for the fast thinking of Kassian. Bieksa and him getting crossed up. Kassian jumping onto the Blues bench, something they didn't appreciate. Some people thought he went to the wrong bench by accident, but no, in fact it was on purpose.
Some fast thinking.
Yes, and there's Steve Ott naturally chirping Kassian as he was leaning over the boards.
Lack stops that test from Brad Stewart. And Eddie Lack's been somewhat busy to start this hockey game. After getting the early lead, after the Canucks got the early lead, the Avs have put 8 shots on goal. Here's a chance at the other end of the ice. Puck loose at the side after Dorsett tried to run around, and Varlamov covers up.
This period brought to you by Toyota's Happy 50th event, celebrating 50 great years in Canada.
And well after the whistle, we got a fight between Cody McLeod and Derek Dorsett.
Guess how many penalty minutes Cody McLeod has coming into this game? 997. He needs 3 more for that magic 1,000, and he was going to get it. You could tell his first shift he was after Henrik and Daniel Sedin. So Derek Dorsett, a willing combatant, and Cody McLeod will get his 1,000 minutes. Good play by Derek Dorsett. Bring the puck to the net. Now here comes Cody McLeod well after the whistle. And he and Dorsett are going to go. You know what? It kind of surprises me. McLeod is the first Avalanche to have 1,000 penalty minutes. I thought Adam Foote, all the years that he played.
That is surprising. Derek Dorsett's going to have to get a new jersey. 9:25, the time of the outbreak.
Well, you can bet the Canucks the bench didn't like the fact that first shift, Cody McLeod was after Henrik and Daniel Sedin.
We've seen responses 2 nights in a row now. You saw Bieksa last night trying to engage David Backes when he did the same. He's mentioning Colorado won in regulation the last game between these two last year. And that was only the second regulation loss for the Canucks against the Avalanche in the last 24 times they've met. Bonino's pass for Burrows taken away. McGinn gets to the Vancouver line and flips the puck in. We're now halfway through the first, and Alex Burrows has the puck. Up the left wing, Chris Higgins moves in. Trying to get around Erik Johnson. Hayda after the puck. Comes towards Higgins on the end boards, and now down from the right point is Yannick Weber. Radim Vrbata wrists one in front. Higgins after the loose puck, so is Bonino, and it's cleared to the side. Avs able to pick it up and move out. 2-on-2. McGinn wants off on a change, so he'll backhand it in and head to the bench along with Max Talbot. Yannick Weber starts slowly out. Doesn't like what he sees. He'll circle back, being watched by Matt Duchene. Spiza up for Daniel Sedin, who deflects the puck in. Varlamov, that's similar to the opening play of the game as he hands it to Daniel Sedin on the left wing. The result wasn't quite as bad for the Avs, at least not yet. Tanguay under pressure from Hamhuis. Gets the puck around to Holden. Ahead to Iginla, and now back up to Alex Tanguay. Flips the puck forward, tries to give chase. Bieksa there for Vancouver. Tanguay steals. Iginla couldn't pull the trigger. Puck just bounced off his stick as he was set up in front. Now McKinnon to Tanguay, kicked out by Eddie Lack. Close-in chance there, and Lack got the left pad on it. Now he gets the blocker on that long bid. Iginla from the corner. Cycling there, Barry centers. Iginla shot it high. They're getting their chances, but the Avs can't get one into the Vancouver net. Landeskog centers. Henrik Sedin intercepts, and he flips along one forward. Kassian after it. Puts the grab on Tyson Barrie, and Zach Kassian's going to go for holding. An offensive zone penalty will put the Canucks short-handed, but they're still in the lead thanks to the pad save by Eddie Lack off Alex Tanguay.
Canucks Fantasy Hockey, powered by Rogers, is back with a brand new format. Compete against other fans, and you could win monthly prizes. Visit CanucksFantasyHockey.com to play for free and show your fellow fans what you're made of.
Well, Zach Kassian, he's going after this long bomb from Henrik Sedin. Reaches around, let one hand off the stick, reached around with the other one, and ends up in the penalty box for holding. Terry Bach tells us that Adam Foote did have well over 1,000 penalty minutes, but 331 of those were as a Quebec Nordique. So technically,
Terry Bach, our esteemed statsman. There's a shot Changed direction in front of Lack as Landeskog tried to put one on goal. O'Reilly's pass hit a Canuck body, and the puck is cleared out by Tanev. Canucks have given up at least one power play goal in 4 of their 6 games so far. Avs coming off a 2-for-5 performance against Florida after starting the season 1-for-22. And the puck is up and over the boards into the Vancouver bench for a whistle.
Their penalty killing was pretty good last night in St. Louis. They took a stream in the second period. It seemed like they were shorthanded for about 8 straight minutes.
Minute 20 to go in this one. As McGinn plays the puck in. Bieksa hit the official, I think, with his clearing attempt, and the puck stays in the Vancouver zone. Duchesne back to Barry. Carries down, centers from McGinn. He couldn't get his stick on the puck. Tanguay to Duchesne. Pass hit his stick, but McGinn is there to pick it up in the corner. Jamie McGinn checked by Chris Higgins, and he gets the puck all the way down the ice.
Kevin Pollock, the official, got hit right in the middle of the back, and I'm sure he's breathing a sigh. It hurts naturally, but breathing a sigh of relief that nothing happened because Kevin Bieksa had a lane to shoot it out and hit Pollock.
Tanev with a quick spin out of the corner, and he's able to get the puck out. Mathias was after it. Now Verbata moves in. Fakes the shot. He'll kill some time and slide the puck around to the far side. Under 20 seconds to go in the Colorado power play. 6:20 left. First period. 1-0 Vancouver. Iginla's in on the right wing. Puck centered, and McGinn is robbed by Eddie Lack. Set up from behind the goal by Duchesne. Penalty's over. Kassian back onto the ice. Johnson tries a shot, and it's loose in front. Again, Iginla can't put it home. Iginla with numerous chances here in the first. Here's Johnson to Holden. Iginla takes his pass. Puck almost knocked away from him, but the Avs still have it. Duchesne centers. Holden able to get around Kassian. Now Matt Duchesne once more, spinning away from Tanev, centers the puck, and Iginla scores. He wasn't going to miss all his chances, and Iginla on the backhand ties the game at 1.
And you could hear it hit the bar. Zach Kassian can't get the puck out. Matt Duchesne with a nice pivot move. Jerome Iginla on the backhand, just inside the post. Beautiful backhand pass by Matt Duchesne to set up Jerome Iginla, who's had, I'd say, 3 grade A scoring chances early in this game, and he gets his first as a Colorado Avalanche.
His first in his 8th game as a member of the Avalanche. And that ends a scoring slump dating back to last season. As Iginla gets his, there's a save by Lack, can't cover, puck loose in the crease. And the Avs crashing the net but couldn't jam it home. Iginla has his first of the season, his first in 12 games dating back to last year, and it was a beauty on the backhand.
This period brought to you by Toyota's Happy 50th event, celebrating 50 great years in Canada.
Don't forget to follow Sportsnet on Twitter for real-time scores and highlight video updates from around the league every game night at Sportsnet, the new home of the NHL. We're live from the home of the Colorado Avalanche, where the Canucks had a very good first shift. And it's been pretty much all Avs since, out shooting the Canucks 14-4 and getting the tying goal from that man, Jerome Iginla.
And the Canucks have really been their own worst enemy. How many giveaways has there been in this one? And the puck comes around the boards on your side. You have to get it out. Zach Kassian unable to get it out, and then ends up in the net.
He was the freshest Canuck out there after exiting the penalty box. Bonino with a shot well off the target. Hughes hustles to the puck, puts one towards the goal, stopped by Varlamov. And Tyson Barrie gets the rebound around for Nathan MacKinnon. Burrows wouldn't let the Avs move out. And Hughes will chase in deep after that puck. He gets crunched in the corner, but makes the play around. Now the puck put in front. Burrows couldn't get a shot away on the setup from Nick Bonino. 4.5 to go in the first. And Landeskog gets the puck out, played back in by Christopher Higgins. Bonino looking across for Casson, who just come onto the ice, but the pass didn't get through, and Landeskog skates to center and dumps the puck in. Zach Casson drops for Brad Richardson. Tanev takes that one off his skate and chips the puck into Colorado territory. Casson from behind the goal. Puts the puck in front of the backhand, knocked away by the goaltender Varlamov, and he'll grab the puck before Sean Mathias can get his stick on it.
Well, a couple of pushbacks just by the Canucks, and they're playing in the offensive zone. Dan Hamhuis takes the big hit. Brad Stewart, who has struggled a little bit with the Avalanche since he came over from San Jose, with that good solid hit on Dan Hamhuis. He looks a little better with this cage on, but it's still, you can tell at least once or twice a period where he's having trouble finding the puck in his feet.
Habs control off the faceoff. Nick Holden from behind the goal. And here comes Zach Redmond. His first game of the season. Canucks break up the rush. Spiza finds Lyndon Vey. Trying to get around Holden. Got in his way. Official looked at it. And the puck is out and back down into the Vancouver zone. Yannick Weber. Pass across center. Somehow got through to Verbata. He finds Daniel Sedin. Weber's in front. Instead, the pass comes back to Henrik. With room down the right side. Henrik cutting towards the goal. Round behind the net, then tried to center for Daniel. That was blocked, and the Avs send the puck around and out. The exit checked by Duchesne. But Hamhuis gets to the puck first and makes a nice outlet pass to Henrik Sedin. Canucks are 4-on-2. Daniel in on the left wing. Daniel Sedin looking in front. He shoots, stop, rebound, cleared away by Jan Hejda. And back comes Colorado. Duchesne through center. Gets by Daniel, but offside at the line, says Steve Miller. And the whistle blows. Murph.
Guys, don't forget about Safeway's $1 million score and win. Excuse me. If any Vancouver player scores 5 goals in tonight's game, Marion North of Vancouver could win $1 million.
Murph's having some popcorn.
Yes. Here's a 4-on-2. Kevin Bieksa jumps up into the play. Daniel's shot and a rebound just goes right by everybody. Radim Verbata was right there. Kevin Bieksa.
A little under 3 minutes left. First period. Burrows in front, and it's in. Went off his skate. They're going to wave it off.
This one they'll look at, though.
Being ruled kicked in.
Well,
Burrows did poke at it with his
and they're
stick.
talking, and now you can see they're talking about it. And I'm sure they're going to look at it.
The league planning to be
And
more
here comes-
liberal with these this year.
Here comes the linesman talking to the referee. Alex Burrows going hard to the net. Puck bounces. It's off the heel of his stick, heel of his skate, and then up to his stick. And I think you might be right, John. He might have got a stick on it before it goes in.
Oh, you can't tell.
You can't
Look,
tell.
with the amount of force it had.
It's off the heel, and it would have gone through, but it hits Varlamov, and Burrows has his stick down. I don't know whether we'll have an angle to see if he made contact with the stick. Tom Chmielewski is the referee. You knew I would have to say his name. You've been trying to avoid his name since I asked you before the game. It's Tom. I'll say Tom, the referee.
You say it with confidence.
Yeah.
Let's have another look. See if it's.
Okay. Off the heel of Alex Burrows' skate. Now it goes between the legs of Varlamov, and Burrows has the stick.
Did he get the toe of
Did
the
he
stick
get the
on?
toe of the stick?
Or is it the right pad that sweeps it in?
It's off the heel. Now there's the kicking motion.
Oh, you know.
I think he might have got it. I think he might have got the blade of the stick on it.
He thinks he did.
I think, yes, I think he might have got the blade of his stick on it, and you can see Patrick Laws trying to get the explanation. We'll see if we can see it on the overhead any better. It's off the heel of Alex Burrows' stick. And here's the blade of the stick. You can't tell there.
Now, was it the right skate of Varlamov coming
Right
back?
skate of Varlamov.
Because it definitely picked up speed on its way in. It hit something.
Kevin Pollock is talking.
Here we go.
The call on the ice was a goal. After video review, the call on the ice is confirmed. It's good goal.
There we go.
So,
Well, call on the ice was goal.
he waved his arms, but what they can do when they huddle, they decide what the call on the ice is going to be.
Yes, that's it. Okay, here's a reverse angle now. Off the heel of the skate. And here comes the stick of Alex Burrows. And as you say, the new rule is, and Patrick Waugh now is being warned in the bench, that you can angle your skate. You can deflect it into the net.
All the teams were shown a video of goals from last year that would or wouldn't have counted as they become a little more liberal with the kicking motion. Bonino and Higgins get the assists on Burrows' second at 17:23. Now another chance. Richardson trying to bank one in, and the net's knocked off as Kassian was battling his man at the side of the goal. Another winner on Score and Win for Safeway and Old Dutch Arriba or Restaurante tortilla chips. Kenneth Brooks of Vancouver. You've won a Lagostina 10-piece cookware set.
Alex Burrows had 2 points in the game last night. Going to the net was Chris Higgins to score off a shot from Alex Burrows. This time it's Alex Burrows going to the net hard and being rewarded.
Face-off comes outside the line as they deem Kassian to have been the culprit and the net being dislodged. Back for the puck is Henrik Sedin. He's bodied by Mitchell and loses the puck. 2 minutes to go in the first period. Mitchell hooked, play goes on. Spiza has the puck. And he shoots it in from center as he takes a hit from Johnson. Mitchell. It's off the stick of Daniel Sedin, out of play and back onto the ice for a whistle.
Finger cooked tonight. Order from over 100 menu items at bostonpizza.com.
Minute 45 to go in the first. Canucks with the last 4 shots of the hockey game. Become a little more respectable in that department. It was 14-4 for the Avs, now 14-8. And the Canucks scoring on 2 of their 8. Brad Stewart lifts a high one to center. Tanguay waits for that puck to fall, now defers to Iginla. Tanguay, center, knocked away. Bieksa, stick handling in front of his own net, now goes to the inboards and fires one ahead for Jannik Hansen. Hansen checked by Stewart. Tangay's offside here, so he'll retrieve as we move into the final minute of the first period. Bieksa waiting as the Canucks make substitutions as well. Dan Hamhuis. That one intended for Bonino, no icing. Jan Hejda goes back for the puck. Burrows intercepts that lead pass, and Tanev now controls. Up for Burrows, who deflects the puck through. Varlamov out to stop it for Erik Johnson. Johnson pulling away from the check of Nick Bonino. Now Ryan O'Reilly backhands the puck in. Tanev reverses for Edler. And Alex Edler gets the puck high and down inside the Colorado blue line.
First period always the toughest, especially at 3 games in 4 nights, but you come to the Mile High City and you can feel your lungs burn.
Shot from the side by McKinnon, stopped by Eddie Lack. And that'll do it for period 1. Avs get their 15th shot right at the end. There's the man who scored 10 seconds into this hockey game, Henrik Sedin. And Alex Burrows late with 2.5 minutes to go, the second Canuck goal. The end of the road trip, Brad. Canucks looking to finish 2-1, and they lead it 2-1 as we send it back to you.
Welcome back to Denver. Mile High City through one period. Canucks and Avs. Canucks with a 2-1 lead. Let's take a look at the scoring summary. Henrik Sedin just 10 seconds in, giving the Canucks a lead. Iginla's first with the Avs, tied it before Burrows got his second of the season to give Vancouver the lead. But more in that first period here, John and John.
A little more statistical breakdown for you. Alex Burrows heating up offensively with better than a point a game his last two, and a bit of a milestone goal for Jarome Iginla as we take another look.
Well, how many chances did he have in that period? And he scores on probably his, well, I can't say worst, but it wasn't his best chance. He had a couple on his forehand that he fired high and over the net. You can see where Jarome Iginla stands. He always gets off to the slow starts. Neil and John were talking about it. He's notorious for October, but every year he gets 30 goals. He ends up, he's real streaky, and he always seems to finish strong.
On the ice to start the second with the Canucks sending the puck in. Varlamov leaves for Hayda. And we're past the 10-second mark, so the Canucks will not be duplicating what they did in the opening period of play. Puck goes out of play at the Vancouver bench for an early whistle. Let's check out John's Fresh Take. It's brought to you by Subway. Try the new Canadian Beef Prime Rib Melt at Subway restaurants. Subway, eat fresh.
Well, don't try and kid yourself that the players don't know their stats. Cody McLeod knows he needs 4 minutes to get that 1,000 mark, to be the 6th player in franchise history and the first player as a Colorado Avalanche to hit that 1,000 penalty minute mark. So he takes care of that.
Dan Hanhus holds the puck in, tries to throw it on goal. Ricochets to McKinnon, whose pass is tipped away by Burrows. Stewart ahead for O'Reilly. Deflects the puck behind the Vancouver goal. Lack, weak clearing attempt. Waiting is McKinnon. Tried to slam one on goal. That hit the leg of Nick Bonino. And the puck is sent off the glass and out. Bonino trying to steal. Avs take the puck back. Stewart passes to Tyson Barrie. Barrie had an overtime winner against the Canucks last season. Vancouver Island product. Here's Hanhus ahead to Burrows at the end of his shift. He makes a pass to Sean Mathias, who lost control of the puck, and back comes Zach Redmond with a pass ahead to Maxim Talbot. Talbot tried to throw one across. Burrows still out there. Said it was the end of his shift on the last foray up the ice. Now he'll try to get to the bench, but he won't be able to. Oh, he will now. I thought maybe they might call icing on that one from Weber, but play goes on. Burrows replaced by Zach Kassian, who goes to the front of the net. Mathias trying to get a pass to him. It was blocked. Kassian battling Mitchell. Pass back to Richardson, and his stick exploded as he tried a one-timer. Spiza able to hustle back and break up the potential rush for Colorado. And now I think Richardson was
offside.
Unless they're calling too many, because Henrik Sedin is already on the ice, but I think he was inside the blue line, as you said. There's the stick exploding. Richardson trying to one-timer.
And it is an offside. The gate here is right on the blue line. We were in St. Louis last night, and the gate is deep inside in St. Louis, so there's no doubt. But that time, Brad just had both feet on the wrong side of the blue line, and so there was an offside call.
Two top lines matching up again. And Duchesne relays nicely to Tomge. Pass for Iginla was behind him, but he's able to spin away from Daniel Sedin and play the puck forward, broken up by Radim Vrbata. Tanev to Daniel, back to Edler, ahead for Henrik Sedin. He forces the puck over the Colorado line. Johnson after it in the corner. It comes to Daniel Sedin, down for Vrbata. Blue line feed. Edler with a shot that bounces wide of the goal. Tanev moves down from the right point. Henrik Sedin behind the net. Duchesne is on him. Leaves for Vrbata. Now Edler to Daniel Sedin. Tips one for Henrik. Going to the net. Didn't have much of an angle to get a shot away. Now Edler stumbles. The puck is by him, and Bieksa comes back to help out. Bieksa with a cavalier there, but he got away from Iginla. And here's Lyndon Bay over the Colorado line. Bay had the puck knocked away from him. Cody McLeod gets it out to center. And Hanhus plays forward for Jannik Hansen, who's checked. Little scrambly here to start period 2. Start of the first period had lots of offensive flair to it. The Canucks with the early goal, and then the Avalanche came back with a slew of chances on Eddie Lack. Derek Dorsett plays the puck forward. Bay moves in on Marc-Andre Cliche. Stewart goes glass out, and Spiza collects for Vancouver. Quickly to the side for Dorsett. Avs break that up, and here's O'Reilly taking a lead pass. Trying to go wide on Spiza, reached out to knock the puck away. Landeskog bowled over in the corner under the check of Yannick Weber. Puck underneath Dorsett. And they'll blow play dead for a face-off in the Vancouver zone.
Penalty on Lucas Spiza. Spiza makes a great play on O'Reilly trying to go wide, but then he just slashed the back of his legs, and he's going to end up in the penalty box. Look at Lucas Spiza. Good position, good pivot, quick stick. Then when the scrum formed along the boards, he just took his stick and gave O'Reilly a whack and ends up in the penalty box.
So second power play for Colorado. Avs scored shortly after the first man advantage had expired. But Ginla with that backhander, barring in. Tanev with an early clear, and Colorado will start from its own zone.
But that wasn't one of those because Zach Kassian did have time to get back into the play. The puck came around and he just wasn't able to play it.
Johnson rushes the puck in, dumps it wide of the Vancouver goal. Hit the side of the net. Bonino trying to catch up to the puck, but he's checked by Landeskog. Nick Holden to Eric Johnson. Landeskog's pass blocked by Higgins, and the puck caroms down inside the Colorado blue line. Canucks change 3 of the 4 penalty killers. Edler stays out. He's joined by Kevin Bieksa. Landeskog hooks the puck back to Holden. Now Nathan MacKinnon puts one to O'Reilly, who deflected it wide of the goal. Ryan O'Reilly again back to Holden. Fell down as he tried to slam one on net. Under a minute to go in the power play. Landeskog centering deflection pass blocked, and now Yannick Hansen's able to backhand the puck down the ice.
That was a good penalty kill and shift for Alex Edler.
Canucks change both defensemen. And the Sedins are out up front. With 40 seconds to go in the power play, Duchesne moves in. Here's a Ginla. Matt Duchesne in front for McGinn, trying to jam one on goal. The puck winds up on the stick of Henrik Sedin, who finds Daniel. Pass for Henrik out of his reach, but he's able to catch up to the puck, drop it back to kill some more time. And Weber unloads the puck ahead. Daniel Sedin almost trapped it at the Colorado blue line, but just had the puck get away from him. Avs without a shot on the power play, without a shot in the period so far, which is approaching 6 minutes in. Tanev gets the puck ahead. Verbata trying to move in, following up his Vey, but the puck knocked away from him. Spiza's out of the box. Colorado 0 for 2 on the power play. Duchesne on the right wing. Puts one in front. They score! McGinn! Another nifty setup from Matt Duchesne. He's got 2 assists, and the game's tied at 2.
Lucas Spiza comes out of the penalty box, but he gets caught in no man's land. He doesn't know where he's supposed to go, and you can see Spiza comes back, and it's his man that ends up scoring the goal.
So again, shortly after the expiration of a power play, the Avs get one in behind Eddie Lack, their first shot of the period. And Jamie McGinn makes it count for his 2nd of the year.
He had 19 last year, and you can see why he is out there on the power play.
So back to square here at Pepsi Center. Zach Redmond gets the 2nd assist on the goal.
His 2nd goal of the season, assisted by number 9, Matt Duchesne.
Avs back to center. Talbot plays the puck in. John Mitchell after it. Behind the goal for McLeod. Talbot swoops in after the puck. Weber trying to stay on him. Here's McLeod behind the goal. Back for Redmond. Tied up by Chris Higgins, but able to pull away from the check. John Mitchell, long wrist shot off the shoulder of Eddie Lack. Oh, and Bonino got his man in the face trying to clear the puck out. There'll be a high sticking penalty here, as Bonino clipped Max Talbot while trying to knock the puck into midair and get it out of the zone.
Well, that puck is off Eddie Lack and it goes high, and Nick Bonino's swinging at the puck and comes right through and catches Max Talbot.
At least 2 minutes for Nick Bonino. And we'll see how they assess it and how much power play time Colorado has when we return. The Avs have tied it. Deuces wild here in Denver.
Nick Bonino doesn't see Max Talbot coming over his left shoulder. The puck's up in the air. He's swinging at it. Here comes Talbot. And you can see the stick of Nick Bonino comes around, catches Talbot, so he's off. Now here's Lucas Sbisa coming out of the penalty box. The Canucks are even. Now, Avalanche have the puck, so he's not going to the bench. He stays in the middle. Well, take a man. You're a defenseman, but you have to take a man. And the guy goes right by him, Jamie McGinn, and tips it by Eddie Lack. And that's one of those, when you're in the penalty box, you have to say, okay, I'm coming out, can't go to the bench. Who do I take? What area do I go to? And Sbisa didn't pick anybody.
It's a 2-minute minor to Bonino. Third power play for Colorado, third in a row after the Canucks had the first man advantage of the game. And the Avalanche win the faceoff, looking for their first lead of the game. Tanguay with a drive, and Eddie Lack steers that one over the glass.
As you say, the Avalanche has scored 2 right after the power plays. And that one was more like a power play goal because the Canucks never did get a chance to regroup and get reset.
First one came 33 seconds after the penalty expired. The second one came 9 seconds after. There's a one-timer, a weak one by Barrie wide of the goal. And the Canucks get the puck off the stick of Tanguay and out to center. Here's Duchesne, who's been skating well in this one. Always does, though, doesn't he? Hamhuis able to intercept and clear the zone.
That's a good line. Tanguay, Duchesne, and Jerome McGinley.
McGinn moves in on the left wing. Tries to get it around to Iginla. Edler intercepts in the corner. Minute 10 to go in the Colorado power play. As we approach the 8-minute mark of the second period. Tanguay, slap shot, kicked out, rebound, Duchesne, and I think Edler got in front of that one. Iginla with the puck on the right side. Back to Tanguay. Iginla once more. Goes across. Barrie back for Iginla. Puts it across the top of the crease, hoping McGinn could get his stick on it, but he couldn't. Now McGinn again, the backhander. And Eddie Lack had the short side covered. 40 seconds to go on the penalty to Nick Bonino. Tanguay to Iginla with room. Moves down. Passes to the goal line. Duchesne brings the puck in front. It came off McGinn and then cleared away by Lack. Tanguay with a one-timer, misses the net. Iginla tried to slam the puck, but Duchesne took it away from him. And we have a penalty coming up here. A hooking call to Sean Matthias. And the Canucks are going to be 2 men short for 19 seconds.
Sean Matthias reaches in on the hands, and you can see Matt Duchesne can't handle the puck because of that hook. Alex Edler gets square. Good goalie save off his wrist. And McGinn gets tied up this time. Can't get a stick on the pass. Tries a backhand shot, bad angle, and Eddie Lack squeezes that off.
5-on-3 for 19 seconds as Matthias joins Bonino in the penalty box. Important face-off, and the Avs control it. Barrie to Johnson. They'll switch sides. Now Barrie fakes the one-timer, fires down. Puck is center for Landeskog, intercepted, but the Canucks can't clear. Barrie drops for Johnson. Wrist shot, scores! Erik Johnson gives Colorado its first lead, and the Avs will stay on the power play.
Well, as you were saying, John, faceoffs are so important, and the Canucks, if you get a chance to get it out, you have to get it out. And there was a backhand clear by Kevin Bieksa that doesn't get out, and Erik Johnson through the screen. Landeskog's in front. I don't think he tipped that one. He just provided the big screen. And Johnson's shot finds the back of the net.
Came with 3 seconds left in the Bonino penalty. So the Avs stay on the power play for another minute 40. Looking to take a 2-goal lead. Lack out of his net to play the puck to the side. McKinnon around for Landeskog. Here's the goal scorer, Johnson, passing in close quarters to Nathan McKinnon. Landeskog brings the puck in front, sweeps it wide, maybe trying to look for Ryan O'Reilly. Avs 6 shots on the last power play. Johnson able to connect. Here's Holden with a drive, and Eddie Lack swallows that one up. 24th shot of the game for Colorado. The Canucks have had only 9.
You're running into penalty troubles. The Canucks, there's the Erik Johnson shot right by Landeskog. He didn't get a piece of it, but he was definitely the screen.
Remember, we were saying 6 minutes into the period, Colorado didn't have a shot yet. They now have 9 in the last 3.5 minutes. And the Avs set up again with a man advantage. Wrist shot attempt blocked. And Bonino able to turn and get the puck down the ice. 45 seconds to go in the Mathias penalty. Tanguay brings the puck to center. Drops off to Duchesne. Taking on the defense. Wrist shot. Eddie Lack the save. He'll gather the puck. As Duchesne tried to go solo there and got a pretty good chance.
But Duchesne has such great speed that it backs the defense in, and you can see the defense back in. And so he's got a pretty good shot from about 15 feet out. Alex Edler has to back in, respect that speed. Eddie Lack has to make another good stop.
30 seconds to go in the penalty. And then the Canucks have to figure out how to get some action down at the other end of the ice. 1 shot in the period for the Canucks, 10 for Colorado. The Avs have had 3 power plays. Final 10 seconds of this one. And Barrie starts from behind his net. Duchesne takes the lead pass. He's going to get around his man easily. Another shot stopped by Lacus. Duchesne blew by Brad Richardson there. Canucks are back to full strength. Now they'll try to mount something at the Colorado end of the ice.
This morning, Avalanche coach Patrick Roy was in a surly mood. Only answered about 3 questions at his press conference. He was saying his team struggles had nothing to do with X's and O's. It wasn't the system. Individuals needed to play better. He didn't name names, but it was clear who he was talking about. Iginla didn't have a goal. McKinnon with no goals. Landeskog no even strength goals. Tonight they've been a lot better, including Iginla, who finally is on the board for this Avs team. John?
And they've added an assist to Nathan McKinnon on the Erik Johnson goal, so he and Iginla both on the score sheet. Duchesne's been flying. He's got 2 assists. Colorado leading 3-2. See if the Canucks can play at even strength for a little bit here. Henrik Sedin fanned as he tried to get the puck to the side for Vrbata. And now it's out of play at the Vancouver bench.
Great Canadian Oil Change. Family owned and operated. Superb customer service and new vehicle warranty approved products, including Valvoline Premium Oils. Great Canadian Oil Change. Over 60 locations across Canada.
Well, that puck into the Vancouver bench, and Mike Bernstein is looking at Kevin Bieksa. There's Henrik trying to get it in, and it's off Johnson, and you can see Kevin Bieksa's turning his head on the bench.
Got him around the right ear, it looked like. Seems to be okay as they drop the puck outside the Colorado blue line.
Eric Johnson's played more than 27 minutes the last 2 games, and chances are he'll be up there again in this one.
9 minutes left, second period. And that'll be an icing call as Spiza threw the puck ahead. Another face-off upcoming in the Vancouver zone, and out comes the top line for Colorado.
Well, Henrik hasn't been bad on face-offs in this game. He's won 5, lost 6.
You know you're struggling when you're...
Yeah, we lost that one. Yes, you're talking about, oh, well, like only
5 of 11.
5-11, that's not bad.
Eric Johnson able to hold the puck in. And now a pass for Iginla eludes him, and the puck slides down the ice. Weber and Spiza head to the bench. Canucks start to change their forwards as well as the Vane line comes out. Lyndon Vane with Derek Dorsett and Jannik Hansen. Iginla takes a lead pass. Moving in on Alex Edler, finds Duchesne. Couldn't get the shot by Chris Tannen. Edler, nice pass ahead to Jannik Hansen. Lost control for a moment, now picks up the puck again. Wrists it around to the near side. Edler down from the left point. Dorsett's after the puck. But Iginla picks it up, brings it out to center. Vane breaks that up. Tanguay following up has to wait because Duchesne was already over the blue line. Avs changing on the fly with under 8 minutes to go in the second. Briere onto the ice, moves it on the left wing, puts one in front. Lack doing the splits as you watch that one go wide. Hansen the other way, has a step. Now stops and looks for an option, feeds across. Bieksa tried a shot that fluttered into Varlamov, was able to grab the puck and hang on for the whistle.
Neil and John were talking about before the game about the face-off percentage for the Canucks and how they've really struggled. Brad Richardson and Henrik are above 50%, but just barely. And last night against the Blues, the Canucks got better as the game went on, but in the first period and a half, they were at about a 27% rate.
47% in this one. Bonino had a chance to draw that one back, but McKinnon fires the puck to O'Reilly, who dumps it into the Vancouver zone. Landeskog, first man in. Hughes trying to check him. Bonino as well. Now Bieksa gets to a puck ahead of O'Reilly, gets it to the line, and just held in by Holden. Puck poked forward, Higgins gets it. His pass blocked. And Hughes slides the puck down the ice where the other number 2, Nick Holden, takes possession. 7 minutes to go in the second. Canucks with 2 shots in the period. Colorado up to 12. And a couple goals for the Avalanche to turn a 2-1 deficit into a 3-2 lead. Kevin Bieksa starting out. Good pass ahead. Richardson in. Tries a quick shot. Stopped by Varlamov. Sean Mathias after the puck in the corner. Mathias keeps after that puck. Sent to the blue line. Held in by Weber. Brad Stewart a chance to move it out. Gets it to John Mitchell, who clears the zone. Offside as Talbot fell down. Face off outside the Vancouver blue line. Well, it's a new season, a new game, a million reasons to play. Register for the new Sportsnet Fantasy Hockey Pool before October 27th for your chance to win $1 million or a VIP trip for 2 to a 2015-16 NHL regular season game. It's free and easy to play. Get started today at sportsnet.ca/fantasy.
Good to see Max Talbot back out there his next shift after taking that high stick from Nick Bonino.
Varlamov out of his net. Going to dive on that.
That should be a penalty.
It is going to be a penalty.
Game penalty. He's behind the goal line.
He can probably get called for playing it outside the trapezoid too, couldn't he? Didn't he cover it? I'll have to have another look.
Okay. No, he's not playing it behind the trapezoid, but he knew he was in trouble. He's trying to let it go.
On the goaltender, restricted area trapezoid.
There you go. Come on, John.
Okay.
Stick with me.
Yes.
So a little bit of a brain cramp there from Varlamov. And the Canucks get their second power play of the hockey game. Chance to turn the momentum a little bit here. So the puck is clear. And Vrbata takes a pass to Edler at center. Jerome McGinley serving the penalty to Varlamov. Daniel Sedin passes across, quick shot. Wide of the goal as Lyndon Vey tried to test Varlamov. 30 seconds gone in the power play. Daniel Sedin, Edler, one-timer. Varlamov able to knock it down. Rebound, Vrbata, blocked by the other number 17, Brad Stewart. Vey holds the puck in on the right wing. He's checked out, and good job there, as Cleese was able to force the puck outside the line. Pass from Daniel towards Henrik, Sedin out of his reach. Now Henrik gets the puck, and Vrbata couldn't get it by Varlamov. Minute to go on the power play. Daniel Sedin to Henrik Sedin. Pass back for Daniel. Came off the skate of Vrbata. Back to Edler. Henrik Sedin. Cross for Vrbata. Partially blocked, but he's got the puck now. Slams it off the post. Stick side post. And Vrbata that close to tying the game. Canucks still have the puck. Henrik Sedin waiting. Behind for Daniel. Looking in front, pass comes to Vrbata, another shot, and that was knocked down by the goaltender. Henrik Sedin on the right wing, 25 seconds to go in the power play. Canucks trying to pull even. Henrik to Daniel, back to Henrik. Here's Edler with room, he shoots, knocked down, rebound, loose and cleared to the corner by Talbot. Canucks still have the puck, 10 seconds to go in the power play. Edler at the blue line. Over to Henrik Sedin, back to Alex Edler, near side Vey, looking across, goal line feed. Vrbata comes out, sends one towards Henrik, but it was out of his reach. Penalty's over. Canucks 0 for 2. Daniel off the slap pass, just tipped it off the target.
Canucks have 4 forwards on the ice.
And the Avs have the puck. McGinley going to the net, 2-on-1. Talbot shoots, glove save by Eddie Lack. That shot was headed to the top corner, but Lack able to reach out and snare it with the left hand. Canucks pressuring on the power play, couldn't pull even, still down 1.
The official PharmaSave Canucks wall calendar on sale now at PharmaSave locations throughout BC for only $6.99. Pick up yours today and help support the Canucks for Kids Fund.
Power play looked very good. Radim Vrbata with the slapper. Short side on Varlamov. Has him beaten, but not the post, and Eddie Lack keeps his team in it. Max Talbot right down Main Street. Good angle, and Lack stayed right with him.
McGinley was the freshest player on the ice, having exited the penalty box, and he quickly turned that into a 2-on-1. Chris Higgins dumps the puck into the Colorado zone. O'Reilly leaves in the corner for Hayda. Tried to get the puck to McKinnon. That was broken up by Higgins. Avs tried the other side. Bonino checks Landeskog. Hayda drops his stick. I don't know if it's broken. Yes, it is, because he's not going to retrieve it. Jan Hayda defending without a hockey stick as Bieksa controls at the blue line. And he tries a shot. That goes wide. Burrows from behind the goal. Pass to Higgins. Now, Hayda has gave Landeskog stick. Puck came towards Landeskog. Couldn't clear it out. Bieksa working to hold the puck in on Johnson, who's trying to cover it up along the boards. And now it's out to center. McKinnon trying to get loose. Nathan McKinnon. Hanhus trying to cut him off. McKinnon shoots, and another glove saved by Lack, who drops the puck down for Hanhus. Here's Higgins to center. He'll want to start a change, so he chips the puck to the corner and heads to the bench. 2.5 minutes to go in the second. And Lucas Sbisa goes back for a loose puck. They're slow to move it, but it gets it ahead to Richardson and then gets knocked to the ice in the corner. Tyson Barrie. And McGinn deflects the puck behind the Vancouver goal. McGinn blocks the clearing attempt of Eddie Lack. Sbisa after the puck along the boards. Can't move it out past McGinn. Now he's trying to pull away from Richardson. Centering pass for Talbot. Deflects the blue line. Good hold there. by Stewart. Here's a shot by Redmond off the left shoulder of Eddie Lack. Redmond carries on after the puck. Cycling for John Mitchell. Pass back, right point. Stewart slams one towards the goal, and Lack will hang on to that one for the face-off in the Vancouver zone.
I thought Nathan MacKinnon might try and carry this one to the net. Dan Hamhuis comes back. MacKinnon puts on the brakes and then takes the wrist shot. Eddie Lack made that one look very easy. Look at Nathan MacKinnon, the rookie of the year, led all rookies in goals and assists. And young Calder Trophy winner, but this year has struggled to get off the schneid.
Had a 13-game point streak last season, the longest ever by an 18-year-old, breaking the record of a guy named Wayne Gretzky, who had a 12-game point streak. A minute and a half to go here in the second. Marc-Andre Cliche behind for Danny Briere. Holden able to hold the puck in on Yannick Hansen. Tanev controls behind the net. Bonino out there with Dorsett and Hansen on this shift. Might have just been for the face-off, as play is stopped for a hand pass, and the face-off will be in the Colorado zone.
Long pass by Chris Tanev was tipped, and so the Canucks had a chance to play in the offensive zone. Now they get the face-off in the offensive zone.
Just over a minute to go. Henrik Sedin will take this draw against Matt Duchene. And Duchene wins it to the corner, but Daniel Sedin is there to retrieve the puck for the Canucks. Verbata had the puck knocked away by Johnson, but he gets it back. Wrist one on goal, and just went wide. Now a shot from the line. Rebound, Verbata on the backhand. Couldn't get a good shot away. Final minute, second period. Canucks looking to pull even. Daniel Sedin finds some room in the corner. Shovels the puck back to Hamhuis. Pass to Henrik Sedin. Now it's off the stick of Daniel and out to center. Daniel to Henrik. And offside, it's ruled. So we'll check in with Murph on the whistle.
Guys, Safeway's featured participating product for tonight's game between the Canucks and Avs is Old Dutch, Arriba, or Restaurante tortilla chips.
We've had a few of those on this trip. Loaded with cheese. Not a whole lot of other stuff.
You really do need to mix in a vegetable every now and then. Chris Tanev. Good burst to center. Gets around Landeskog and slides the puck in behind the Colorado goal. Barry tried to get it around. That was blocked by Higgins. Final dozen seconds of the period, and Higgins steals the puck in the corner. Now in deep for Richardson. Behind the net to Burrows. 2 seconds to go in the period. They got to get it out front, and Burrows going to run out of time here. So the Canucks surrender a couple of goals in a second period. Jamie McGinn tied it, and then on a two-man advantage, Erik Johnson with his first of the year, and Vancouver will have to play from behind here, Brad. They had a great start, but they ran into some penalty problems and trailed by one.
Well, Brad Richardson and his teammates need at least one here in the third to get a result out of the building. John?
Murph, thanks. Canucks 1-2 when trailing after 2 this season. Came back to beat Edmonton in a shootout. They need to beat that man at least once. The return of Semyon Varlamov, who missed 3 games with a groin problem. Alex Edler breaks up a pass at center. Puck slides to Erik Johnson. He's got the go-ahead goal in this game. Hayda sends one forward. Duchene missed it. It's an early icing call, which allows us to check in with Murph.
Guys, second period scoring summary brought to you by Panago Pizza. Before, during, or after the game, get a fresh Panago. There you see him begin with his second. Tied the hockey in before Johnson on the 5-on-3 with his first. Gives the Avs their first lead of this game.
2 assists for Tyson Barrie, 2 assists for Matt Duchene. And a rare face-off win for the Canucks, but missed the point man, and the puck slides down the ice.
Especially after the icing call, the Avs immediately change all 5 guys.
Bieksa lead pass intercepted by O'Reilly, and here comes McKinnon in on the left wing. Nathan McKinnon spins away from Bieksa, centers for Landeskog. His shot stop, and a rebound chance to the side for O'Reilly. Stop Eddie Lack. Here's McKinnon behind the goal. Comes out the side on the backhand. Landeskog to the blue line. Barry to Gabe Landeskog. His shot deflects to the corner. Stewart holds the puck in. Now it comes towards Bonino. Couldn't reach it. Stewart wrists one towards the goal. Lack tried to deflect that one over the glass, but it comes to Dan Hamhuis, who finds Bonino, and he deflects the puck into the Colorado end. Lucas Spiza pulls away from his check. Finds Yannick Weber. Ahead for Brad Richardson, who kicks the puck into the Colorado zone. Goaltender Varlamov shoots it around. And here comes Redmond, 3-on-2. Up the right side. Thrown on goal, but wide of the net. Holden keeps the puck into the left point. Weber couldn't reach it, but then he knocked Talbot down, freeing up the puck for Richardson, and he gets it out. This will be icing against Vancouver. And the faceoff comes down the ice.
Here's McKinnon giving Kevin Bieksa the inside-outside, and that creates a chance off a stick, and Eddie Lack has to come over and make 2 good saves in tight. This shows the quickness of McKinnon. They've got McKinnon listed at 195 in one of the books that I was reading today. The Avalanche now, and he was listed at 180 last year.
Stopped by Lack, rebound, they score! Danny Briere. Lack couldn't squeeze it, and it's 4-2 Colorado.
Right from the faceoff, and Brad Richardson's had an awful game in the faceoff. Goes back to the point, tipped in front of Eddie Lack, and that's why he can't control it. Danny Briere tips it down. Danny Briere's only played 3:22 after 2 periods. He gets this shift and gets a goal.
His second of the season. His only other goal was that buzzer beater in Boston.
That's their only win.
Well, maybe he'll play a part in win number 2 as the Avs open up the biggest advantage of the hockey game. And here comes Duchesne. Chance for a 2-on-1. Iginla's in front. Duchesne centers, and the pass was behind Jerome Iginla. Avs still have the puck. Duchesne in front, intercepted by Tanev. Daniel Sedin. Pass finds Tanev. He couldn't make the play, however, up to Vrbata, and here's Duchesne in with a pass to Iginla. Iginla leaves for Tanguay. He tips the puck wide of the goal. Duchesne gets it in the corner. Tanev frees up the puck, and Henrik Sedin fires across to Vrbata. Canucks changing as Vrbata plays the puck forward. Now it comes back to him, and he backhands the puck in, gloved down by Johnson, who chips it out. Derek Dorsett in on the right wing, long wrist shot, blocker save for Varlamov. Yannick Hansen on the rebound. Dorsett behind the net, puck knocked away from him, and Johnson clears it out. Hughes had that one blocked, but Dorsett able to tip the puck to center. Canucks being outshot by better than a 2-1 margin, 35-17 in the hockey game. And a third assist on the Briere goal to Tyson Barrie as Barrie and Cleach get the assists, and now they're going to get another offensive zone faceoff.
Another look at the goal. Shot from Barrie and tipped down by Daniel Briere, and Eddie Lack couldn't control it after the tip in, and Briere's right there.
He's played most of his career in the middle. And there's you see where he ranks among the actives. Dorsett after a loose puck. And now it's shot over the glass in the corner to the right of Eddie Lack.
Protect your engine at temperatures as low as 40 below with Mobil 1 Advanced Fuel Economy. Mobil 1. Energy lives here.
And Brad Richardson, I've talked about his tough night in the faceoff circle. That goal right from a draw. He's 1 out of 8 to this point in the game. And he's usually very good. Even the ones he loses, he's usually at least close to a tie, but there it went right back clean.
Another icing call. Bonino will have to take a defensive zone draw. Avs looking to make it 2 straight regulation wins over Vancouver. Talked about this earlier. That was after they beat the Canucks just once in regulation in the previous 23 meetings.
Jerome looks like he's having fun in this one.
Avs come up with the puck in the Vancouver zone. It's deflected on goal by McKinnon and steered wide by Lack. Higgins trying to move the puck out. Couldn't do it. Held in a couple times, but now onto the stick of Weber, who sends one ahead to Burrows, checked by Barrie. Burrows gets the puck back, sends it off the side of the goal towards Chris Higgins, but never got right to him. Edler holds the puck into the left point. 4.5 minutes into the third. Canucks trailing by 2. Nick Bonino sends one towards the goal. That was blocked. McKinnon comes up limping, heads to the bench as O'Reilly skates through center and dumps the puck in. Out of the pile with the puck is Chris Tanev. Richardson up the right wing. Kassian moving in. Stops trying to get away from Holden. Now Edler at the blue line. That's intercepted by John Mitchell, and the Avs have 3 to center. McGinn on the right wing. Plays the puck to the end boards. Talbot is there, so is Mitchell, who's got the puck. Blue line feed. Redmond to the near side. McGinn tried to sweep one towards the goal. Bieksa takes it away and passes to Edler. Finds Mathias, but he couldn't negotiate the pass and move the puck out. Edler gets it back, checked by McGinn. Finally, Mathias able to relieve the pressure, get the puck out. Brought back in by Mitchell. Drops off. Hayda with a drive, stopped by Lack. Sedin's break to center. Henrik over the Colorado line. Tried to center, blocked by Erik Johnson. And the Avs have a 2-on-1. Duchesne with a gimlet. Duchesne's going to burst in on goal. He beats, he scores! Matt Duchesne's been flying all night, and he makes it 5-2.
Well, you're down by 2, you got to take some chances, and Kevin Bieksa jumps up into the rush, and that's why this is such a clean 2-on-1. Dan Hamhuis is back, but he can't get back quick enough, and Duchesne with the nice little move opens the goaltender up and then slides it through the legs.
A goal to go with his 2 assists. And Duchesne now up to 7 points in this, the 8th game of the season. 3rd goal of the year. And the Avs have broken it open.
And number 6, Erik Johnson. Time of the goal.
Jannik Hansen checked in the Colorado zone. Puck comes to Dorsett. He slams one well wide. Ricochets back to Spiza. His shot kicked out by the left pad of Varlamov. Weber almost hit Vey as he hammered that one wide of the goal. Penalty coming up here to Dorsett. He took down Briere along the boards. Now he's going to hear about it from the Avalanche players. Brad Stewart came right at Dorsett. Continue to mill about. At this point, it looks like it's going to be a Colorado power play. They'll keep talking. We'll take a break. 5-2, the Avs lead it here in the 3rd.
Big game packs on sale now. Buy yours before October 31st to be automatically entered to win a bonus pair of lower bowl seats to see the Canucks take on the Leafs March 14th and an autographed Henrik Sedin jersey. Canucks 3 game packs on sale now. Visit Canucks.com/3gamepacks for details.
Well, here's the hit on Danny Briere. Smaller player, he's turning around to get it. Derek Dorsett takes him into the boards. Not much of a run. And then Cody McLeod came in and took a punch at Dorsett. They're both in the penalty box. There are a lot of discussions for this one.
couple Avs in the box. Briere as well. I'm going to say double minor to Dorsett.
Yes, and 2 and 2. Yes, that's what I would say too. Briere probably got up and gave Dorsett a stick.
Nothing up to indicate the penalties yet. So we told Dorsett's going to get boarding and roughing, and it's probably roughing to each McLeod and Briere. And it remains at full strength here. Still 13 and a half minutes to go. The Avs, 4 straight goals in this hockey game. Canucks led by a 2-1 count after 1 period. Benino tries to center, that's blocked. Puck played forward. McKinnon chasing after it. Canucks their first hard hit in the corner. And
Weber's going to be
Weber's slow to get up. He's on his feet. Burrows responding here in the face of the Colorado captain.
This is a 5-2 game that could get ugly here in a hurry. Here comes Landeskog, and he's got Weber lined up right in the numbers.
They are getting into a boarding penalty, and the Canucks will get a power play.
Boy, in a 5-2 game, there's still 13 minutes left in this one. Power play has looked pretty good. Vrbata had a goal post with the man advantage in the second period.
As it is, the Canucks are 0 for 2 and have registered only 1 shot on goal here in the third. We'll have to start the power play from their own zone as Vey couldn't catch up to the clearing attempt at the right point.
At 6 minutes, 59 seconds of the third period.
Henrik Sedin picks his way to center. Edler up the left side to Daniel. Tried to throw one through an Avalanche player to Henrik. Edler able to hold the puck in. Cleach bobbled it. Now Holden trying to tie it up in the corner. Edler moves down from the right point. Throws one across. Daniel Sedin gets a pass from Vrbata. Behind the net to Henrik. Vey goes to the front. Vrbata sneaking in back door. Now he goes behind the net. This is how they set up Vey last night in St. Louis. Vrbata comes out though. Passes to Daniel Sedin. Down to Henrik. No shots. Henrik to Edler. He lets one go. Kicked out by Varlamov. Henrik Sedin again. Power plays half over. Edler at the blue line. Vrbata one-timer. And Varlamov handles that one with no rebound.
Well, you can see the Avalanche are taking away that space that Vey had last night in St. Louis. But here's killing penalties, and Neil talked about it on the faceoffs. There it is. Win the faceoff clean, and what happens? Around the boards and out, and there's 20 seconds.
Bieksa holds the puck in. Second unit on for Vancouver. Just under a minute to go in the power play. Benino to Bieksa. Wrist shot blocked in front. Johnson got in front of it. Good hustle by Burrows to keep the puck alive. Now Bieksa to Handhus. Back to Kevin Bieksa. Fakes the shot. Passes to Handhus. Burrows screening in front. As the pass is deflected and intercepted and cleared outside the line. Played back in. Deflected back in. And the Canucks offside here. Avs able to kill some time. Lack takes that one on the short hop, and Bieksa picks up the loose puck. Just 15 seconds to go in the power play. Higgins in on the left wing with some room. Chris Higgins, wrist shot over top of the net. Puck comes back to Handhus. To Nick Bonino. Back for Handhus once more. Bonino with some room, looking in front to the side. Higgins jams it on goal twice, and it's held out by Varlamov. Avs are back to full strength. Canucks are 0 for 3 on the power play. And it stays a 3-goal Colorado lead as the Avs ice the puck.
Chris Higgins with a couple of good chances, and Varlamov tight to the post. Higgins just tries to stuff it and has 2 whacks at it, but look at the shoulder of Varlamov. He gets it up, able to make the save on the second try.
Looked like there might have been a third try out of midair. Don't know if it caught the shoulder or the post, but it stays 5-2 as Briere and McLeod exit the penalty box and head to the bench. Derek Dorsett still serving his double minor. Colorado clears, can now make its change. Weber back for the puck, shoots it around for Mathias at center. Sean Mathias being checked by O'Reilly, able to carry over the Colorado line. Richardson into the corner for Mathias, back to Richardson, blue line pass Weber. Just dumps the puck around, waiting is McKinnon. 3 Canucks on him. Barry from the corner, battling Brad Richardson. Richardson out with the puck. Back to Weber. Wrist shot off the side of the net. Redmond gets the loose puck. And it's going to be an icing call here. McKinnon checking his left skate. Looks like he might have lost an edge. They might let him head off as we check in with Murph.
Shop at Safeway today and watch future Sportsnet telecasts. You could win an all-inclusive trip for 2 to a Grand Bahia Principe Resort courtesy of redtag.ca. Where Canada shops for great travel deals. Shop at Safeway today. You could be our next lucky winner.
Nathan McKinnon going to head to the dressing room. He's got a skate problem, so even on the icing, the Avs allowed to make a substitution here. Just past the halfway mark of the third. Edler down for Verbata, back to Daniel Sedin. He scores! One-timer from just inside the blue line. Henrik was in front. I'm not sure if he tipped it, but the Canucks have their 3rd goal.
I thought it would have been nice if Radim Verbata would have got an assist on the first goal. He was the one that forced Varlamov and Barry to make the mistake on the Henrik Sedin goal. This one, he passes back to Daniel Sedin. I don't think it got tipped on the way in.
I did.
Yeah, it did.
Was
but
it
not
Henrik
by
or
Henrik.
Redmond?
No, it wasn't Henrik. It was by Redmond. I think it hit the back of Redmond's leg.
10:09. The time of the 3rd Canucks goal. Vancouver back within 2. This will be icing as Hayda wins the race to the puck. We have a 3rd winner on Score and Win for Safeway and Old Dutch Ariba or Restaurante tortilla chips. Adele Donald of Cranbrook, he won a Bulova Marine Star watch.
And the big line continues to put up points.
Daniel Sedin does get the goal.
Time of goal, 10 minutes, 9 seconds of the 3rd period. Sedin from Mathias.
Here's Verbata with a chance to move in. Long shot blocker saved by Varlamov. Edler at the blue line. Pass to Tanev. Dumps the puck around. Verbata from behind the goal. Along the end boards for Henrik. Centering pass. Daniel got a weak shot away. Puck still loose. Tanev moves down after it. Can't get there. And now the Avs have a chance to break out. It's Duchesne again. With Iginla once more. Tanguay, the trailer, takes the pass. Tanguay cuts in front. And that one either hit Lack or Edler and went wide. Stewart sends one wide to the goal. Tanev from behind the net. Pass ahead to Henrik Sedin. Now Alex Edler. Backhands the puck ahead. Canucks, too many men on the ice. Richardson made a play on the puck, but Henrik still out there, but play continues. 8.5 to go in the 3rd. John Mitchell slides the puck in on Eddie Lack, who sweeps it to Dan Hanhus. The X up for Richardson, tips the puck forward. Hansen moves in after it, played away by Barry. But Hanhus holds the puck in on the left side. Richardson at the side of the goal. Now the puck comes to Hansen. Behind the net for Lyndon Vey. Vey double shifting here with Dorsett still in the penalty box. Hansen trying to kick the puck to him. Couldn't get it by Mitchell. Now Vey has it. But he's checked by Jamie McGinn, who skates out, passes to Max Talbot. Talbot plays the puck in. McGinn gets to it, tries to center. Here comes Talbot up the middle, trying to get a shot away. He's grabbed. Went down under the check of Hamhuis. Play goes on. And Hamhuis is out with the puck. Ahead to Vey. And now Higgins moves in on the right side. Tried a spin move, lost control for a moment. Trying to take the puck behind the net while he waits for his line mates to join him. Higgins still with the puck. Pass picked off by Redmond, but he's checked by Bonino. Redmond, another chance to move the puck out. He'll skate it forward to center. Gains the red, dumps it in as he collides with Lucas Spiza. Here's Ryan O'Reilly passing back. Landeskog scores! A bullet off the stick of Gabe Landeskog, and it's 6-3.
Well, here's the puck around the boards. Nick Bonino doesn't get it, and you can see Alex Edler, or not Alex Edler, Alex Burrows, his reaction, because he's the guy, and you can see Eddie Lack's reaction, because Alex Burrows was in the shooting lane, and it just goes by him and then by Eddie Lack.
Third of the year for Landeskog at 12:56. And if Vancouver's hopes hadn't been snuffed out already, that probably does it right there.
That's Landeskog's first even strength goal.
Daniel Sedin trying to get one to Verbata. That's broken up. Henrik Sedin takes possession of the puck and turns to the neutral zone. Landeskog trying to move it again, checked by Chris Tanev. Here's Daniel Sedin, wristing a long one in on Varlamov.
Time to go, 12 minutes, 56 seconds of the third period. Landeskog from O'Reilly.
Lack not going to play that one. They'll whistle it down on the icing and bring the face-off into the Colorado zone.
X-Men Days of Future Past. Own it now on Blu-ray and DVD.
The Avalanche move on to play in Winnipeg on Sunday and then are back home for two, one against San Jose and then the Islanders. So they're occurring a few of their ills in this one.
What did it take them until their 7th or 8th period of the season to get a goal? There's a deflected puck wide of the net. Now jamming to the side is Richardson. Puck comes to Mathias, who backhands it towards the goal. Iginla up the boards, held in by Hamhuis. Now Iginla again, and he backhands the puck down to the Vancouver blue line. Under 6 minutes to go. And Colorado in a 6-3 lead. 41 shots on goal for the Avs, 28 for the Canucks. Iginla to Duchesne. Feeds right side to Tonga. Hit by Spiza in the corner. Hansen comes over for the puck, and he'll carry it ahead. 4 Canucks to center. Hansen to the Colorado blue line. Drops for Weber. Long wrist shot, easily handled by Varlamov. Holden chops the puck around and gets it out. And Weber goes back for Vancouver. Five minutes to go as Burrows moves in on the forecheck. Dorsett and Burrows in close quarters. Avs move the puck ahead. And McGinn backhands it into Vancouver end. Mitchell rides Edler into the corner boards. Now from the blue line, long shot by Stewart. Stopped by Lack, and he's able to swat the rebound to the corner. McGinn again. Sharp angle shot. Lack had the short side covered. Bonino makes a play to Burrows. Banks one ahead for Higgins. Trying to get around Barry. Higgins stops. Sends one across. Pass was behind his intended target, Alex Edler. Here's Bieksa at the right point. Puts one towards the goal, wide of the net. Hughes comes onto the ice, tries a shot from the other side. And Varlamov will cover that puck. Get a whistle with exactly 4 minutes to go in the third. And Canucks looking like a 1-2 road trip at this point.
It's back. The Canucks for Kids Fun Super Skills Competition, powered by Rogers, will be held on Sunday, December 14th at Rogers Arena. You see your Canucks up and close at this fun-filled family event. Tickets start at $15. Go on sale tomorrow, 10 a.m. at Ticketmaster.ca/skills.
We've seen some skills in this hockey game, but the Canucks at times overrun by Colorado. Desperate Avalanche team.
Well, penalties again.
Yep. Four minutes to go. Canucks to fly home after the game. Get set to play Washington on Sunday.
Capitals are in Calgary tomorrow night.
Verbata hustles in after that loose puck. Back to Alex Edler. Long wrist shot. Hit a skate in front. Puck deflects to the near side. Landeskog trying to get it around. That was blocked. Here's Verbata again. Pass for Daniel Sedin. Checked by Johnson. And O'Reilly flips the puck outside the line. Now beats Daniel Sedin to it. Runs into Edler at the blue line and knocked him down. Landeskog from the corner. Passing in front. Wide open is Cleach. Stopped by Lack. Right here. Let go. Stewart drives one wide. And Weber digs the puck free behind the net. 3 minutes to go. And Stewart risks the puck back in. Edler put it right in front. Cleach stopped again by Lack. Couple chances for Marc-Andre Cleach, but the Avs denied a seventh goal. Here's the game review brought to you by The Brick. Saving you more on furniture, mattresses, appliances, and big screen TVs.
Well, the Canucks got off to a great start 10 seconds in, but they bounced back at the Avalanche. They just couldn't, even though they had a 2-1 lead going into the second, shots were 15-8. And then the Avalanche, with all those power plays in the second, took over. And Matt Duchene, definitely the first star in this one. Alex Edler steps up in game number 501. Didn't that remind you a little bit of Matthias Ohlund?
Yeah.
Another 500-game defenseman for the Vancouver Canucks.
And Harold Snepps, who's part of that club, turned 60 today. Here's a chance from McLeod at the side. Lack trying to cover and able to get the whistle.
Canucks hockey. Brought to you by Subway. Try the savory new prime rib melt. Thick cuts of juicy Canadian beef for a limited time only at participating restaurants. Subway. Eat fresh.
With 2:42 left here in the third, Zach Kassian is heading to the dressing room after he did not like the way Cody McLeod went to the net on this one. Eddie Lack couldn't find the puck. McLeod's digging for it, and very late, you can see McLeod. Here comes Zach Kassian in, gives him a shot, and the referees don't want any more of that.
Kassian smashed the wall with his hockey stick on his way down the tunnel.
I think he'll just get 10 minutes.
Vancouver penalty.
Icing call
Number 9.
was going to happen here, but Varlamov will play the puck and allow the clock to keep winding. 2.5 minutes to go. The Avs have a chance to get to 50 shots in this hockey game. They're 4 short. Chris Tanev can't get the puck past Nick Holden, and he dumps it ahead into the Vancouver zone. Tanev clears it out. Redmond goes back, being pursued by Lyndon Day. Holden takes the bank pass, sends the puck off the glass and out. Spies at center. Chips one forward for Burrows to skate onto. His backhander gloved by Varlamov. Again, he'll drop the puck and allow the clock to continue to wind down. Minute 45 to go. And that should be a hand pass. No. They allow play to continue. Everybody wants to get out of here.
They want to get out of here.
Bonino stumbles in the corner. Gets up to pick up the puck once more. Now Duchesne trying to move out. Can't get by Chris Higgins. Redmond clears the zone. Weber throws it ahead. And this time it will be icing with a minute 18 remaining.
Patrick Roy throws Matt Duchesne back on the ice.
Mentioned the Canucks flying home to face Alex Ovechkin of the Capitals, and we'll have it for you on Sportsnet. 6:30 the start time. Note that. That's the puck drop at Rogers Arena. For those of you who have tickets, it is a 6:30 start. Here's Jerome McGinley, bring one in front. Johnson took a swing at the puck, and then McGinley's shot went off a stick and over top of the net. Richardson gets the puck out. Higgins tried to give him a return pass. That didn't work. Final minute of the hockey game, and Duchesne is in with a wrist shot stopped by Lack. Rebound there. Tanguay couldn't put it home. Hayda's in deep. Covering for him is Tanguay. Long shot. Tipped off the post and in by Iginla. He has his second of the game, and the Avalanche leads 7-3.
Oh, and what a skilled move this is by Jerome McGinley to spin around and get his stick in position so he can bring it back. This one's about 10 inches off the ice, and he spins around so that he can bring it back towards the net. Boy, that's a talk about goal scorer goals.
He had the first Avalanche tally of the night. He'll likely have the last. Talked to our Dan Murphy before the game about the need for him to improve his play and start producing. And Iginla has certainly done that. Canucks scored in the first minute. Iginla scores in the last minute. And the Avalanche are up by 4.
And Jerome has points in 4 of the last 5 games now, but his first goals.
Brad Stewart sends the puck off the glass and out. Bieksa reached for it but couldn't touch it, so there'll be at least one more whistle with 15 seconds to go, and fans start to come to their feet here to salute this effort by Patrick Roy's team.
This will be their first home win of this season. Lost to Florida in overtime and got shut out by Minnesota in their second game of the year.
No icing this time. And this one comes to an end.
Well, a game that showed so much promise with that goal 10 seconds in, and the Canucks just couldn't keep it going. They were leading 2-1 at the end of the second. Start of the second looked all right, but then all those penalties and the tide turned.
2 goals for Iginla. Big night for Matt Duchesne. And the first win of the year for Semyon Varlamov, who came back from missing 3 games with a groin injury. He gets congratulated on his first win of the season as the Avalanche take it 7-3. And Iginla with those 2 goals. And there's Duchesne, who had a big night. Iginla passes Guy Lafleur and Mike Modano on the all-time goals list. Here are the 3 stars as selected by John.
Tyson Barrie with the points and make the power play go, and Jerome Iginla, dominant player, but the best player in this game was definitely Matt Duchesne.
Canucks, couple of losses with a win sandwiched in between. That's the story of their 3-game road trip as they come home with 2 of a possible 6 points. 4-3 on the season and getting set to meet Washington on Sunday. We'll have it for you right here on Sportsnet as we say goodnight from Denver.